pleasure to welcome you in our second Interact podcast. As previously we were discussing the concept of the whole project, today we'll concentrate on a specific topic, mainly on the electromagnetic fields. We'll have a discussion interview with Professor Conchi Garcia Pardo from Spain. I hope that you will enjoy this talk, and my name is Adrian and I invite you to listen to our podcast. So welcome again. In today's talk, we will discuss various aspects related to the electromagnetic fields, EMF, and radiation. So we know that without such waves, no contemporary wireless communication system works. So there will be no mobile phones, no television, no radio. We know that. On the other side, we can say that this radiation is somehow it generates some doubts about the safety issue mainly. So we can say that this topic is a bit, it's vivid, simply not a bit, it's a vivid topic nowadays, vibrant, and which generates a lot of confusion. And with this podcast, we would like to face this problem. That's why we have invited an expert in that field. So it's my great pleasure to welcome you, Professor Conchi Garcia Pardo from I-Team UPV Spain. So welcome. I'm really happy that you find time to discuss these aspects with me. Yeah, welcome. Let me just also remind that Conchi is also chair of the special group working on exposure to electromagnetic fields within the COST Interact project. So again, it's a pleasure to welcome you. And yeah, we can start, I believe.
Well, thank you, Adrian, for the invitation to be on the second issue of the podcast of the action. And thank you, all, of course, for inviting me to talk about this hot topic nowadays.
Yeah.
And I hope this conversation helps to shed light on the subject and to help to solve doubt, especially for general public.
Yeah, exactly. So as we are targeting also the general public, maybe I think that it will be good to start with some fundamentals. So could you briefly, recap the basic of the wave propagation? So we can hear, I mean, that the wave has different impact. So depending on the frequency, it has a different impacts on us, on the environment. Could you recap a bit on that?
Yeah, sure. Well, in general, we could say that very basically, that an electromagnetic wave is an oscillatory electric and magnetic field at the same time. Let me show you one picture to illustrate better this.
Great, of course.
So that people can have a better idea what I'm trying to say.
Of course.
Yeah, here. As I was saying, electromagnetic field is an oscillatory electric field. This is the blue curve, which, due to its oscillatory nature, creates an oscillatory magnetic field, which is the red one. And an oscillatory magnetic field originates at the same time, an oscillatory electric field. So that this continued process creates what we have an electromagnetic wave, which propagates in a direction perpendicularly to the oscillation of both fields. The rate at which these fields change with time, it is the frequency, which is also related with the wavelength. This is the path of this wave, right? So depending on frequency or wavelength, because they are in terms of safety are the same, but when frequency increases, wavelength decreases, and the same when the frequency decreases, wavelength increases. Well, taking into account this, we can look here at this picture, in which I have recap more or less the kind of or how the electromagnetic waves can be classified, right? We can see here that for low frequencies, this part, or what we call low frequencies, we have what we call the radio waves. And in the opposite side, for very, very high frequencies, we have the gamma rays. This is a very simple classification, but I think it's very illustrative. Well, the electromagnetic waves interacts with matter or with the human body in different ways. But the main classification is non-ionizing. This is when the wave has the capability to change the structure of the human cells, and ionizing. This means that the electromagnetic waves have the capability of change the cell structure of the body. So if looking at this picture, you can see that, for example, radio waves and microwaves, which is on the lower part of this radioelectric spectrum, are non-ionizing waves, and the X-ray and the gamma rays are ionizing waves. If we think, of course, in X-ray and gamma rays, everybody thinks about the medical inspections with So this is never used for communications, but mainly or also only for medical purposes, for diagnosis.
So if we might interrupt, so if we concentrate on cellular networks, so what will be the main dominating phenomena here? It will be non-ionizing, right?
Yeah. Of course, of course, it are non-ionizing and non-ionizing waves. So that here we will be here in this part. So and also I should be taken into account that even higher in frequency, we go into the visible rays. I mean the light, which is at higher frequency compared than microwaves. It means microwaves are the frequencies used by Wi-Fi, by AM or FM radio, by mobile communications. So even the visible light have higher frequency compared to the frequency used by wireless communications. So we can be on the safe side, because this kind
on
of
the left side
are non-ionizing
so
waves.
What will be the main effect, the main impact of this kind of propagation on us, on humans? It's probably thermal, right?
Yeah. When talking about focusing on radio and microwaves, the main effect found so far in literature and in scientific studies is thermal heating. And for the time being, no further effect has been found by experts. Yeah.
Okay, great. So, I mean, we may say that it is not ionizing and the thermal effect is there, but probably we have to somehow measure it. So for sure there are some metrics, right? Parameters. This has to be somehow widely accepted by some international or national bodies. Could you elaborate a bit more about this aspect? I mean, what are the parameters and this international organization that specify this?
Well, let me talk first about who establishes the restrictions and who establishes the limits, and of course who regulates how to measure, how to evaluate this exposure. We could say firstly that there is an international organism called the ICNIRP, which is the International Commission of Non-Ionizing, I would like to emphasize this, non-ionizing radiation protection, which is a non-profit organization who is also linked to the World Health Organization. And what the ICNIRP does is to regularly review the scientific evidence about the effect of electromagnetic fields on health, right? Focusing on the non-ionizing waves. However, ICNIRP is not a regulatory organism. It's an advisory, international, supranational advisory organism. ICNIRP also establishes, apart from analyzing the scientific evidence, what ICNIRP does is provide, according to their criteria, the guidelines for the assessment and for assuring the safety the safety of the EMF exposure. So that ICNIRP provides from time to time guidelines and review guidelines about what should be measured, which should be the limits, and so on. Now, considering this, every country is free to adopt the ICNIRP guidelines or not. Most of countries in the world,
per country basis, okay.
Per countries, yeah. Even, for example, in European Union, this is not a question of regulated by the European Commission. This is something harmonized by country. Yes. For example, Italy has different regulation compared to Spain, which is where I live. So in the end, it's up to the countries establishes the limits according to what international organism says and according to their own analysis if they have it. And after that, considering this, in general, I mean, sometimes there are small differences. But in the end, for example, with a situation that it's let me call it like that, the most hot topic today is how to measure, how to evaluate the exposure from mobile base station, right? So in this case, for example, what I will share my screen again, right? What it is more used is, for example, this kind of devices. We have different kinds of meters for evaluating the electric field or the spectral power, the power density.
Okay.
This device on the left is a frequency, a spectrum analyzer, which has the capability to measure in selecting in frequency, so that we can evaluate different sites, different base station, radiation from the classifying by service and by frequency. And what it is shown here is a 3D proof which captures the
highly specific. So somehow you can see it. I mean, people measuring with this with the sphere on the top. Yeah.
And on the other hand, we have wideband meters that can measure everything what we find without distinguish between technology and or base station or whatever. But in both cases, it is key that the personnel who is using these meters know how to select, how to configure the devices, and how to interpret what the results, because measure the electric field is not it's not that complicated, but in the end it needs that someone expert on what is measuring interpret the results.
So you have to know what does it mean that you have this number, and if this is
because depending on the equipment, the result or what we measure, the value means one thing and another or another thing. So it is important also that the people people using this device are qualified persons.
But let me maybe ask another question, because what you have I mean shown. I mean, we have these measurements devices. We know that the experts will know how to measure. So we can say that from technological perspective and from the measurement perspective, I mean that let's say 5G or other systems, that these are safe. I mean, they fulfill the norms and all the parameters. But also on the other side, we have development and medicine. I mean, I believe that these two worlds, we can say, they should somehow cooperate. I mean, what was your opinion? How this cooperation should work? I mean, to show to society, I mean, that we are operating on the safe side, as you said previously.
Well, I think that EMF exposure has, in fact, is an engineering area, but as well has a health impact. So that cooperation is key in this area. What I would like also to remind is that our work of engineers is not focused, or in general, is not focused on determine if it is healthy, the effect of electromagnetic waves or not, because this is an area which is covered by physicians. Physicians are people who are experts in health and in human body.
Exactly.
With this, so that what a physician or physicians working in this field are in charge of evaluating how electromagnetic fields affect health, and up to which extent or which level can start affecting people. In a second stage, what engineers do is to evaluate and to determine if in a certain scenario with a certain configuration, certain mobile or wireless, whatever, these requirements established by health experts are met. So that there are two phases, but highly connected. And another important thing is that when talking about health and health analysis and health studies, is the what we call science is not exactly as we understand as science in the engineering part, because we are more familiar with research on algorithms, protocols, measurement methodologies, and so on, which is usually established and proof and it works, and that's right. For research on the medical area, it's a bit different because you are researching with people, and this research are mainly based on statistic observation of what we have. Okay, and in this case, what we have when talking about research on medical issues, it is what we call the scientific evidence, which means that an study, you can see my screen now, a study should have enough scientific evidence. I mean, it's not the same level of evidence to that a physician give their opinion on one subject, that report one case that has happened in one particular moment or time in one particular point, compared to what it is called meta-analysis or systematic reviews. That means that you have a large set of people along a lot of time. You have analyzed what happens along a progress of time. You have managed to separate the influence of different factors. I mean, because if you are analyzing the effect of one, you have to be sure that the effect that you want to observe or it is isolated from any other uncontrolled factors, so that we have to take care when we analyze and research related to research on people and in health. We have to take care about what kind of a study we are reading, and what the level of scientific evidence is or means this research. It is also important, but because when as I already said, when analyzing health studies and research related to people, in this case, we have to take into account the size of the sample, what it is called.
It's very important what you said. I think really it's very, very important. As our time is running fast, as always, I would say. So maybe let's go to the final question. You are leading the special group within the Interact project. So could you just say, I mean, a few words about that? I mean, what is the goal? And just to mention maybe one recent topic that you or the other are working on.
Yeah, well, as you said, I am co-leading along with Professor Luis Correia the group of EMF at Interact. And the main goal of our group, well, I think the main goal of all the groups in Interact is to exchange research and the outcomes of the research we we do on one particular topic, in this case on EMF exposure. And also the objective is to boost joint collaborations and joint research on the topic so that we can improve the quality of the research by this joint collaboration between experts in the field. In this sense, during the meetings, we present the results of our research and discuss from the technical perspective, usually, these results that we have obtained, and also to plan or to organize joint activities, research or dissemination activities that we want to undertake in our topic. Concretely, in the EMF group, what we have identified so far is a list or a collection of open challenges that are open nowadays related to EMF exposure. For example, some examples are how to measure exposure in 5G, or how to refine or to improve the measurement methodology of exposure in 5G, especially when talking about higher frequencies or beamforming or these novelties that bring 5G, or how to improve the estimation of joint exposure at a certain location when using several technologies at the same time. So that the goal of the sub-working group on EMF is to by the end of the action, the interaction action, to have some outcomes in these open challenges, if possible, by joint work and joint collaborations.
Sounds really excellent. As I said, I mean, the time is running very fast. Probably we can, I mean, the topic is so, let's say, interesting and frequent, so we can talk for hours. So with this, I would like to thank you for this discussion. I believe that everyone who would like to find some more information can go to the webpage and, I mean, connect you directly. So again, Conchi, thank you very much for your time, and it was a great discussion. I hope that the people will find it also interesting as me.
Well, thank you, Adrian, for your time, and thank you to the people who are listening to us. I hope have helped to clarify some critical issues today. And of course, I invite all people interested on the topic to join us, to join Interact, and to join us in the following meetings of the EMF sub-working group. So thank you again, and
thank you very much.
See you soon, everybody.
Yeah, see you soon. Bye.